Thank you for this. Even as I ask you to join us in this conversation tonight, let us know what you think, let us know what you feel, your views and reviews on the news. The SMS line is open. 22047 is the SMS line. You can also talk to us through our social media platforms at TV47KE, at Muyakane on Twitter, or X as they call it these days, and I'll be happy to sample your feedback live on air. This evening, I'm joined by Catherine Simaloy, our sign language anchor tonight. And with that out of the way, shall we begin? And in our news tonight, the Kenyan High Court has today, Thursday, asked Kenyans to trust the institutions that we have in place as a country, even as it's through the Environment and Land Judge Oscar Angote dismissed a case filed by the Law Society of Kenya challenging the cultivation and importation of genetically modified crops, or GMO. And as Grace Kuriakanja now tells us, Judge Angote ruled that the court had not been shown any evidence to show that the respondents and the institutions named have breached the laws, regulations and guidelines pertaining to genetically modified food. Here's the story.
We should be confident that our health and environment is in good hands. It cannot be true that they have all conspired to expose the rest of the population to the calamities alluded to in the petition, at least not from the evidence on record. Not my words, but those of Judge Oscar Angote, who Thursday dismissed a case filed against GMO in the country. They, in that case, being the respondents, namely the Attorney General, National Biosafety Authority, NEMA, and the Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization. See, in October 2022, the government lifted a decade-old ban on GMO crops in response to dwindling food security following the worst drought to ravage Kenya in 40 years. It is then that the Law Society of Kenya swiftly launched a court challenge, arguing the decision was unconstitutional as there were concerns over the safety of the crops. And Thursday, Judge Oscar said in response to the concerns raised by LSK that, among other things, as to whether the public participation before the Cabinet dispatch of October 2022, I have not been shown any law or authority that requires the Cabinet to engage the public before arriving at its decisions. In any event, there was no public participation before the ban of GMOs was imposed by the Cabinet in the year 2012. The court also said that it is its finding that the allegation that the cultivation, importation and exportation of GMO maize is being undertaken without an EIA license was prematurely made, the said project having not commenced. Judge Oscar further said that the evidence before the court shows that the National Biosafety Authority has the capacity in the identification of foods that should be subject to risk assessment and recommend appropriate approaches to safety assessment. A similar case was last year filed at the Constitutional and Human Rights Division by a lobby group identified as Kenya Peasants League. In this case, Justice Mugure Thande barred the government from gazetting any directives regarding GMOs or acting on the Cabinet dispatch that announced the lifting of the ban on GMOs. Grace Kuriakanja, TV47.